Today's Hoya is full of drama. Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and welcome back to Happy Hoya-Days. So before we get into today's Hoya, take a moment, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and remember to come back tomorrow, join me for another Hoya. So today's Hoya goes by many different names, and it is this Hoya right here. Now you might know this Hoya maybe as the Hoya Bilobata. Maybe you've heard it called the Tsangii or the DS-70, and there's a lot of debate about what name this actually should be called by. So you've probably already seen from the title, but the name that it truly should be called by is the Hoya SP Affinity Burtoniae. Now, the SP in there stands for species. So this is a Hoya species, SP, that is unnamed. It doesn't actually have a proper name, but it is a species that has an affinity to, or looks an awful lot like, the Burtoniae. So that's where that name comes from. If you're seeing it being sold as anything else, this is actually the proper name for it. Now, it does look an awful lot like the Bilobata, but the one big difference that I can point out is this has, hopefully you can see those, nice, beautiful, fuzzy leaves, and the Bilobata does not have fuzzy leaves. It would have nice, smooth leaves. So that's one way that you can tell. So another easy way that you can tell is that you're probably not going to actually find a Bilobata at one of your big box stores or even a local nursery, unless that nursery happens to specialize in selling rare or distinct Hoyas. It's probably going to be your Affinity Burtoniae. A little bit more about the confusion on all of the naming of this is that the DS-70 actually does refer to a type of Hoya, but the DS stands for a person's name and it's the 70th part of their collection. So unless you're actually buying it from that specific person, it is not in fact a DS-70. That was something that I found out that was kind of interesting. So when you see initials and then a number, it comes from a certain person's collection, and then the number has to do with the number of their collection or their variety. So again, not a DS-70. So this Hoya actually originates in the Philippines, and when it was first described, it was actually described as a Hoya Tsangii. Now, as often happens in the plant community, somebody describes it or names it, and then later with science or other discoveries or comparing it to other species, we decide there's actually a better name for it. So this happens all the time in the plant community. We're always renaming, recategorizing things together, and we decided that it should actually be a different species and not be called the Tsangii. But at that point it was too late and the name had already kind of stuck. So you will see this plant sold as a variety of things, all those names that we mentioned earlier. Sometimes you'll even see it sold as a Burtoniae. A little bit about the care requirements of this particular Hoya. It does tend to vine and drape quite a bit. So I do have mine hanging. You can see I have it hanging in a macrame hanger. It does like a larger amount of light. Right now I have mine hanging in my bedroom, which has a west facing window. It is starting to get a few yellow leaves here and there where it's not getting possibly enough light. So I might bring it out for a little while and give it a little bit of supplemental light. As far as watering requirements go for this one, it does tend to like just slightly more water than some of the other Hoyas, but because it does have the thicker leaves and a little bit of that kind of velvet on the leaves, that tells me that it does like to dry out a little bit. So I let it just kind of barely get dry, and then I'll go ahead and water it. Not like some of my more thicker stemmed, thicker leaved Hoyas that actually go several days without being dry. This one I keep a little more frequent eye on. So that pretty much does it for today's Hoya day. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of the background and the proper naming of this particular Hoya. It's always a fun adventure to kind of go down some of those naming rabbit holes and see how a name has actually evolved through time. So make sure you come back, join us again tomorrow. We'll be talking about another different variety of Hoya and hopefully one with a little less drama. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.